Hey guys, welcome to Island 2. I'm extremely sorry for the late upload. Go ahead and grab your hero, set her on strong, put out the free dart if you do have the monkey knowledge. You'll go ahead and start out with attack. We're going to make it a 302. You're going to put a few of these. We're going to switch and make one of them a 204, but we want to be able to have enough to create it quickly. So you'll go ahead and place a few more out, place one that's going to be in the front and make it a 204. You can sell the back ones, and then that way you can create this one as quickly as possible. All the way down this strip, you're going to continue on with the 302s. What you want to do is when it starts to loop around or come around the edge, we want to have out Moab shredders. So we want to make them 032s. I would turn the accessibility up, which I have it up a little bit. That way you can see where the spikes are going, because you have the spikes that will go towards the back. It's going to go over to the left and to the right and in the front. So make sure that you have the accessibility up to see exactly where the spikes are. And then that way you can mark it from close to far and making sure that it follows it with the boss. You want to sell all of the tacks on the left-hand side and start creating as many Moab shredders as possible. You should be able to fit 3 or do 3 of these by the time the boss comes around. After you get 3 of them on the little wood blocks, you can go ahead and continue on with the Moab shredders, and you can place 1 on each one of the blocks. Since this boss freezes towers as well, you can sell the Moab shredders once they unfreeze when they're no longer within range. So if you move it from close to far and the spikes are going in the opposite direction, go ahead and sell it and then try to create the 3 on the blocks. And then once you get those in the middle, straight in the middle, since we can't fit any of the Moab shredders, they're too big of a tower, you can go ahead and put in tacks and make them 204s. If the balloons get really difficult as well, go ahead and upgrade a druid to a 130 just to help with the balloon cleanup. I'll also go ahead and put out a plane on the left-hand side, which will upgrade eventually to a T5. But before then, you want to try to fill up this middle portion with those tacks as a 204 and the Moab shredders. That way you can maximize your damage throughout here. When I go ahead and put out the plane, I'm going to mark it as a 402 on Wing Monkey, and we want to upgrade that to a T5 as quickly as possible. So what we'll do is along the right hand side, as the ball starts coming out, you can actually put Moab shredders through there, but it's very there's not a lot of space, so you have to kind of really mess around until you can kind of place it, but you can. This is where I suggest turning up the accessibility to see where the spikes are going. If you mark it on smart, they're going to go behind because the ball exits towards the back end. So make sure you mark it on close and then mark it on far and make sure the spikes are going towards the right. As the boss passes, you can go ahead and sell everything in that loop since the boss is no longer there. What we're saving up for is going to be upgrading our plane to a 520. So you'll want to just calculate and try to sell as quickly as possible to create the 520. This boss is not fun because after you create your plane, it's going to still be a ton of micro. We'll start working towards our next T5, but we'll have to continue on with these Moab shredders. And with this particular map, it's very awkward with where you can place stuff. So this is going to get you 75. I was extremely close to creating the Paragon, but my towers froze and I was 1,000 short. So it is possible to create a Paragon. There's probably better guides out there, but I will tell you, I ran this multiple times and it's my least favorite boss, and I did not like this map at all. So if you find a better guide, that's completely fine. This is just a general guide. So continue on these Moab shredders. As the boss passes, you can sell the back ones and you'll have to end up recreating it. What we want to try to create as quickly as possible is going to be a mad. So we're going to put out a dartling. We're going to make it a 250, but before then, within this loop and also the loop on the left, we're going to continue on with this Moab strategy. So it's going to be a ton of micro. You can mark them on close, and then you can turn around and mark them on smart. You want to calculate, and as soon as you have enough, create your mat as quickly as possible. So you're going to want to make it a 250. You'll be able to sell all of the Moab shredders. You're going to keep out your T5 plane. And remember, with this boss, it freezes your high-priced tower. towers, so you want to have a lot of similar price towers. That's why we'll continue on with the Moab shredders, but we also want to try to slowly start building up T5 towers as well too. So that's why we're going to go ahead and create the MAD here. As soon as we get the MAD, we're going to continue on with our Moab strategy over on the left hand side. So the same thing we did on the right, very tedious. You're going to go ahead and do it on the left. We want to start preparing for our next T5, which is going to be a spike, and we're going to make it a 250. But until then, we want to make sure that we put all of these out, fill this up, so as the boss passes and it loops around, it's going to be hitting these spikes several times. So it's a great time to put these out while you're saving up to build up for the T5. When you can and you have enough money, you'll go ahead and upgrade a spike factory to a 250. So you can put one out, you can upgrade it to a 240. And then when you have enough, you can just sell the Moab shredders. I would just let it kind of continue on through this loop while they're out, because it is going to do damage to the boss. As it gets ready to exit the loop, go ahead and sell all of those Moab shredders, create your T5 to a 250. And then unfortunately, we got to continue with our Moab shredder strategy on the right hand side again as it starts to come down, but we're getting ready to go ahead and start creating our dart Paragon. So once you create that T5, when you can, sell the rest of the Moab shredders on the left hand side. As you put these Moab shredders on the right hand side, make sure you mark them on smart. You can put them all throughout the line. I'm kind of speeding this forward because it's extremely tedious. You can go ahead and start putting out each one of your darts. And I did the middle path first, and then I go ahead and I do the top path and then the bottom path. If you have out the MAD and you have the T5 spike and you're playing, all you need is 20,000 in order to create your Paragon. Remember though, this boss freezes high price towers, and then when it overheats, everything will freeze. So sometimes it's extremely difficult if you have enough money to be able to turn around and sell and create that dart Paragon, which is something that I struggled with. If you might continue these Moab shredder strategies all the way down, you might be able to create it sooner. Like I said, this would get you 75. Towards the end, I was almost able to create the dart Paragon. There's probably a lot of better guides out there. Unfortunately, this particular map and this boss, I just did not do very well with. But if you're just looking for an okay score to get through map 2, then this is going to be a strategy that you can use. I wish I came up with a strategy that was a lot less micro. You could even maybe do planes all the way down on the right hand side as well if you don't want to continue on with the Moab shredders, and then like work up towards the MAD and then the spike and then a T5 plane and stuff too. So there's a few other variables that you can do, but it is very possible to create a dart Paragon if it's something that you want to do. I was just not going to keep spending more and more time on this map. We did go ahead and finish Island 3, so we'll go ahead and I'll post on Island 4 as soon as I can get that uploaded for you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and make sure you drop a like and subscribe. I did create an in-game supporter code, M the Goddess, if you do want to support me in-game, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next island. Bye!